All right, hey, what's going on, guys? So hopefully the audio is working good here. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see if we can get some audio going. What's going on, guys? So, okay. All right, so we do have audio through the speakers, so that's good. All right, let's move on with this repair. So what we have is an Xbox Series X, and I purchased this, not this one, sorry, a different one. I purchased this one online with the intention of fixing it. The person says that it powers on. It doesn't power on, it just beeps only. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it on our desk over here. We're gonna plug it up and we're gonna test it, okay? So you guys can see that. Just in case you guys are wondering. Okay, so here we are. Let's get it, the camera over our desk on. Okay, so and it's not all the way on the camera, so okay, there we go. That's probably the best we're going to get it. So here we go. We're going to press this power button, and the console normally would just turn on, but we'll see what happens. And that's all we get. Okay, so it doesn't even beep anymore. So let me show you guys that, and that's it. Okay, so let's take this thing apart and see what's going on. I can see that there's already ants coming out of it, which means that probably something spilled or something like that. I'm not sure. You never get the full story when you're buying stuff online. People just seem to want to lie about it instead of just being straightforward and honest and just think like, hey, if you're buying this, you know, at least you know what you're getting into. They just tend to lie about it for who knows why. Okay? So maybe there's just something dead inside and that's causing all this problem. Let me get this back over my messy desk. That's what we call this, the messy desk, because it is extremely messy. And even though I clean it on a regular basis, I'm doing a lot of work, repairs, so it constantly gets back dirty, okay? Let's open this top with, I don't know, what do we have to open here? We have these metal pry tools. I don't know where they are right now. But we're going to use this one and we're going to get inside here. Don't know what that is. Okay. Let's disconnect the fan and you can see that there's already screws missing here. HDMI port is chewed up. Still in place, but it's chewed up. So we're going to find out here real quick what we're working on. If this is, you know, just inside this fan is clean. You can see that something did spill for sure. That black plastic falling off is no big deal. The power button looks okay. The connector for the power button, you can see right here when they took it apart, they didn't assemble it back correctly. So we have that to deal with also. Let's get this right here. Pop that up. There we go. And then we have to take the bottom off. So let's get this bottom plate off. Yeah, we have a lot of ants, so maybe like soda or something like that spilled inside of the console. Yeah, it looks like soda. It looks like, yeah, more than likely it's soda, something that's, you know, getting all these ants in a frenzy because I'm now, you know, taking their place apart. So let's just continue to move all these screws, and then once we get all the screws out, then okay, so what we're going to be doing is fixing this Xbox. So what we're going to be doing is fixing this Xbox Series X that powers on and the light turns on, but it turns back off. So let's get into this video. All right, so here it is. We're almost done taking it apart. Let's continue to, because then we're probably really gonna have to clean this thing up. because of all the ants that I'm seeing. And then you'll really get to see what was done here. This drive doesn't look too bad. That's it. It's not bugs, so it's not as bad. I mean, it's some ants. They're okay. Yep, so as I can see inside, just a ton of ants. Ants, ants, ants. Okay. And let's take these screws out. We have a lot of screws that is missing still. This has been little minor stuff that we can fix. We definitely can fix a lot of this stuff. We did buy some screws here actually, so these screws are going to come in clutch. I didn't expect this console to be without all these screws, but regardless, we did buy a bag of screws because I did lose a few screws from another console that I was working on. So I did end up purchasing a whole bunch of screws, which will really help with this. These ants have nowhere to go because I don't eat or drink inside my workshop. So because of that, they're going crazy because they have no place to go. So we'll have to bend this metal back, which you guys probably can't see that well in the video. By the way, I'm looking for a camera. If you guys have a suggestion on a good camera, everyone is talking about the DSLR cameras, or maybe like a dash camera or something like that to use for recording. So those are not too bad. Okay. So it looks like we're missing something else also, which I don't even know how I'm gonna find that. Yeah, the connector for here is also gone. Which could have a lot to do with why it's not turning on at all. So because the bottom board, yeah, we need that connector, okay? So let's see if we can get that connector from another board that we have here, because in order to test this thing, I believe we need this connector right here to be connected up. If it's not connected up, then we're for sure not going to get this thing to power on. Everything else seem okay. Yeah, everything else seem okay. We can test the power supply, see if we're getting 12 volt, which I'm sure we are because it is showing sign of power. No power would mean that a 12 volt power supply is completed. So I believe that we are getting power. We just have either we need that connector or we got a short on this board. Okay, so let's go ahead and auto brightness. Crazy. Where's it at? I don't want to completely knock out all the I don't want to knock out all the color. Brightness is crazy. Know what it is. It's like the camera focus on it is just crazy. I guess I'll have to work on that another day. Right now, let's just continue. We have our 12-volt hooked up. Let's test and see what we get. Turn this thing on. And there you guys go. You guys can see what's going on. Nope, you can't. And there's even more reflection, so you can't see that. There you go. And we do have 12 volts, so we're good there. So the 12 volt is not the issue. And the last time I did one of these, right, I found the problem to be over here. Okay, so let's just test and see. The only reason why, like I said, I'm testing over here is because from my experience, I ran into a short over here on these caps before. And currently, no. That's good. Don't know what that is. But we know this needs to be changed. But let's first get that connector, plug that connector up, and then once we plug the connector up, then we can go from there as far as testing it goes. So we're probably gonna have to order that ribbon cable. It shouldn't be that expensive for the ribbon cable. And also we're missing the Wi-Fi card for the side of this. Yeah, we're missing this Wi-Fi card that plugs into here. So we have a few components that are missing from this console. So this person jacked this console up and then put it up for sale, saying that there was nothing wrong with it. That is just dirty, man. But we need this ribbon cable in order to test it, so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna test. And I'm putting all the screws from this other motherboard into the casing from this old one, because we still can reuse. We can just put it in the old case. We don't have to put it in this. Like I said, I bought extra screws, so it's gonna make this a little bit easier. But I honestly didn't realize that the guy took all of these components off and didn't put them back on. Maybe he just didn't know where they went and he was just like panicking. Because that's what happens to a lot of customers is they buy these consoles and or they try to fix them themselves, and once they go to try to fix it, they realize, you know, how hard or how complicated the repair is. Just from taking the console apart, they get exhausted. The brain gets exhausted because they're just like worried about it, stressing if they can do it or not, and it just get exhausting real quick. I find myself doing that whenever I think like a repair is more complicated than what it is. I kind of push it to the side for a while, and sometimes when I go to repair it, it's just a quick, simple fix. But I've been just putting it off for a while because I'm, you know, I'm too worried about how stressful the repair is going to be. So I try not to, if like I'm not confident or committed to repairing that device, I wait until I am, and then I start working on it, because if I don't and I start, I'll just end up halfway through it just kind of like giving up, because I'm just like mentally exhausted. I'm just thinking about how hard the repair is, and then once I get to doing the repair, it might be a little bit complicated, but I'm already mentally exhausted. And this is the connector that I'm speaking of. I think it's the same one. No, there's a few different kind. And this one will not work for this console. I don't believe it will. Yeah, it will not work for this console. So there's a few different kind or different versions of this same connector. And I believe that I don't know how to tell which one has which. But those connectors are different for sure. And I don't think the console will turn. Let's, you know what? Let's test this theory, because we probably can't get this done today, but we surely can test the idea of this console works, right? So if I take this console, plug it up, and then I'm going to get the power button that I have. I have a power button laying around here somewhere. And that power button is for situations like this. Oh. It's for situation. Here it is. Here's the power button. Okay, so if I press the power button, you can see the light turns on and it stays on, right? So here's my thinking now. We'll unplug this and we'll unplug this ribbon cable. And we will see what happens when we try to press this power button. We'll see if the console stays on or it does nothing at all, okay? And that will give us a better idea of what's going on here also. So press it. Okay, so there we go. So it's doing the exact same thing. It's the exact same thing. See that? So that lets me know that without this ribbon cable being connected, the console will actually continuously do that and it won't boot. So now if I connect this back up and I press the power button now, the light stays on. So we do have one more console, right? But this console is actually a customer's console. So, but I don't have any Xbox Series X here that are just for parts. This one needs an HDMI port. So let's work on this one, switching out the HDMI port. And in the process of doing that, when I get down to the ribbon cable, I will see if it's the same ribbon cable. If it is the same ribbon cable, then I will go ahead and I will borrow that from this console and I will test to see if the other console will turn on. So this one that I have over here, we'll label, let's get our marker and just kind of label it. That way we don't get them all mixed up also. So really help. Okay, so I'm going to label this one, let's say 4. Okay, 4. And where's the disk drive? 4. So I put the number 4 on them so I know that all of those go together. Okay, let's, with this console right here, let's turn down our heat. We don't need it that high. We're gonna first remove this Xbox tape, and I want to remove it nice and neat. In the beginning I wasn't doing this. I would just poke a hole through it in a rush to kind of get the console apart and just to get everything going. But now I am a lot quicker on replacing the console HDMI port, so I spend a little bit more time kind of getting into them. Okay, and there we go. We just need to move it back that far. We don't need to go any further. and then we'll go ahead and we'll start taking out these screws the same way we did on the last one. I pretty much know where all the screws go, so it's not that big of a deal to me to separate the screws. If this is your first time doing it, then yes, I would suggest that. This repair is kind of off content now, but of what we initially started. But we'll try to see if we can get it back on. One is just dusty. And we're going to label this one. You know what? We'll just put it in a different spot. And that way we don't have to mark all over the customer's console. I don't really like to do that. Okay, and that's out. And now we have to lift this right here and turn this bottom piece. There we go. So I'm putting all the customers' parts off to the side. One second. Fan is really dusty, so we have to get that cleaned up. And let's get these screws out. And let's take this out. Really dusty, so we'll have to dust this one to get it all cleaned up. Okay, and here we are with this console, really dusty. I mean, look at my hands. Okay, and we'll get this adapter off, and once we get it off, then like I said, we'll look and we'll see if there is something that we can do to that connector. If we can use the connector from here onto there, then we can fully test that console and replace the HDMI port and then test it. Because that's probably all the console needed in the first place was an HDMI port replacement. Customer takes it apart, realize that it's a lot more in depth than they thought it was, and so they froze up and just left the console and didn't put it back together with all the pieces. So they left out a lot of the smaller components, like that the Bluetooth adapter, or that might just be the front Wi-Fi, whichever one it is. They left that out, and they just kind of rushed through it. Okay, and the moment of truth. Do we have this connector that we can test this console with, or do we not? And we do not. This is still a different connector from the one that's inside our console. We can double check. Yep. Okay, hold on. Yeah, because I think what's happening is all right, give me 1 second, guys. Okay, all right, so we're back. So this connector is different. Let me look and see what I can find, which would really help. I don't even know what it's called. Actually, to be honest with you guys, I really, really don't know what it's called. Uh, okay, so it's called an interconnection flex, and there's different kind, I guess. Number one socket, number two socket. I don't even know what's. How can you tell which one it is? Okay, so I did find one, and it's so it's called a interconnection, I guess. I don't think I'm going to find one that's going to be able to get here tomorrow at all. Let me see if I find one closer though. Because maybe if I can get one closer, it'll get here faster. Like maybe in Georgia. Okay, so this one is in West Palm Beach. So we should be able to get this one the quickest. So I'm going to go ahead and order it now. And we went ahead and ordered so we can test this console, and I think that should do it. I don't think we really have to. I think after we replace that connector, I think things will be a little bit different. So we're gonna put this one off to the side for now until we get that. So what we'll do is we'll just finish off this repair. We'll replace this HDMI port and then we'll move on from there. I mean, you guys have seen a lot of these videos before from me. If you're subscribed to my channel, if you're not subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button if you like the content. If not, it's okay. There's other people out there with better content than mine, and maybe they'll fit your what you're looking for. But thanks for stopping by if you did stop on by. Okay, and we'll just go ahead and lift that out. And then we'll pop these off. So these are the newer models. They don't have that little cage around them, I think. And where's our loose power button that we have thing around here? We really need to hook up our streaming card, or not streaming, but our display card. That way we can display what you guys are seeing, what I'm seeing on the screen over here, whenever it comes out to these repairs. That's different. A lot of heat. Okay. All right, well, we're going to be removing this and replacing it with a new one. Get our temperature set. Let's turn on our soldering iron. We did get new tips for our soldering iron, and we bought some new HDMI ports also. Was running low on them. I think I might have ran out, actually, to be honest with you. Okay, for now that tip is working, so we're not going to mess with it. We don't have anything to burn underneath here. And let's go ahead and let's remove this. Got our fume extractor on, so you might hear that in the video. All right, and we got that port out. Okay, let's go ahead and let's put some solder down. found some on my desk. It's nice. Alright, let me just scrape this black thing off. With my nice soldering iron. Which means that this tip is probably going to burn out a lot faster. Just from that. Actually, I was looking into one of those automatic tip cleaners. Thing's expensive. It's like $200. All right, so let's go ahead and let's put some of that down, and let's go ahead and let's get the board back up to temp, and then we'll put this port in. We're gonna wait until everything melts. I know you guys can't see that from a distance, but that's what I'm doing here. For whatever reason, it doesn't want to. It's like this is not melting in the back. I had that happen already, and I don't know what it is that's causing that. It's like the back of this doesn't want to melt. Like it liquefies, but it doesn't melt. Like it doesn't fall into the hole. It doesn't. Gosh. Why do I just feel like the back never sits in place? Is it just me? Am I tripping? I feel like I am. Nope, it's just very awkward. So let's show you guys that underneath the microscope camera. So if you look, everything is sitting flush and nice. We just got to clean up that one little spot right there. That's fine. Inside the port is not melted. Everything else looks great. Okay, so we still can reuse that port. So we're going to reuse it in the future. So let's clean up the little bit of bridging that we have here on right there. We have a little bit of bridging. Here we go. Okay. Let's do our push pin test. Push on individual pins and just test them to make sure that they're not moving. Okay, and before the flux get too solid on here, we're going to clean it up. So I'm just going to add a little bit of heat to it. Alcohol, rag, spray on, wipe off. And all of that looks good. Over here, we don't really have anything over here, so we're good over there. And then we can start assembling this thing. Oh, sorry, you guys probably seen that whole thing. I was just thinking because someone else called me, and I'm just trying to check with them. So you guys probably seen all their information. That's okay. So now that we have this clamp back on, let's put this top board back on. This is the customer's console, so I do want to test it before, and I know you guys won't be able to see this because I don't have a capture card on, so you guys can see what's going on the actual TV. But it's okay. We'll still test it, see what's going on. And we don't have to have this thing fully put together to test it. Okay? We just have to make sure that we have this ribbon cable connected, this one connected up in order for it to get power, and we'll plug that up and we'll get our HDMI cable. And we'll plug it into our new port that we just installed, our new HDMI port. Make sure that we plug it in the correct way. plugged up. And let's get our power button that I just seen a few seconds ago. That has now disappeared from my face. It's gone. No, it's here somewhere. Underneath one of these mess, that power button is there. And maybe we didn't do this right, so we might have to go back and do it again. I don't know, but if you guys stick around, you guys will find out. I just looked at it and I just what did I do with it? I thought maybe I put it inside one of those containers. This is what being unorganized do. This right here got you looking for things that are probably right in front of your face. I want to be organized. I just having a hard time getting it down pat. What I do with it? All these other ribbon cables. Trying to think after I disconnected it. I'm just trying to think like what would I have done with it? Imagine just recording a video and just this is literally probably the longest I've spent just in this video doing nothing but searching for a button. Okay, found it. It was inside the other console. that I purchased for repair. So let's hook this up. Now we have our light, and we have input switch. Let's hear that sound. And there you go, we have image. We have image. Okay, and I think I have to take this off night mode because it's doing that weird image. The image is off because it's in night mode or whatever it's called. So you can see the white is still white. It's just night mode. I want to take a picture of it when it's not in this mode, and that way I can verify that everything is working. Because giving it back to the customer in night mode, they might think like something is wrong with the image. Okay, so let me go get a controller and then take this thing out of night mode. All right, so we're back. Let's get our USB cable to connect up to this so we can take it out of night mode. And we have our USB cable. Plug it in. And I know, like I said, you guys can't see all this, so it really doesn't matter to you guys. But this is how I make sure that when All right, so the console is fixed, okay, and I'm shutting it down actually now before I move on. So all right, and there we go. The console did shut down. All right. So the console is working, guys. I can't show you guys that because, like I said, I'd have to turn the cameras around and do all that stuff. I'm going to install the capture card maybe later on or tomorrow, and that way I can capture actually what's being shown on my TV. And that way you guys can kind of get a better idea of what's going on. So thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next video.